Qu'au-delà des mers, là-bas sur le ciel clair, il existe une cité au séjour enchanté. Et sur les grands arbres noirs, chaque soir, vers elle s'en va tout mon espoir. J'ai deux amours, mon pays Paris, pareil toujours, mon cœur est ravi.
Welcome in, everybody. We have the Voltage series back with the playoffs. This time around, got a little something different. We have the third place match coming up, which is very important, Drago, because points are everything when it comes to your Tier 2 circuit. I'm Erebos. Drago is with me. Drago, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I've had a couple casts the last couple days, and if you haven't been watching, we've had some really intense matches, especially from the side of GK and going on in South Breach. But today's the most important matches of all Voltage series. If you've not been paying attention, we'll give you a quick rundown, a quick catch up. So, first off, just to start us, and I gotta say it, I'm so happy to be back into this. I can't wait for our interviews. I can't wait to have these players starting. We have Myth versus Panning today as our best of 3 match for that third place spot, which gives quite a lot of points. There's also one quick other thing we should mention as well. We have promotions going on today of exclamation mark giveaway. UB is giving away 5 times the 1200 with the regional finals for EML. You gotta be excited for it because I know I am. This is something that might be a little bit different for everyone at home, but Ubisoft have asked us to promote EML Final, which has their grand finals for the Tier 2 circuit going on, and it's happening in Malta. I cannot wait for myself because it means so much to EU. December 6th and 7th, and it's the fact that we have a prize pool of 100,000 going to this. If you're not prepared for it, Go buy your tickets ASAP. Eventworks tickets slash R6, oh sorry, slash blast equal dash R6. It's $10, sorry, €10. I've been working with Americans too much, that's on me. But you have to love it because, you know, it's just going to be the best that EU has to offer for the Tier 2 league, trying to make it into Tier 1, trying to win their title that they definitely deserve. So, Erebus, you excited for this?
Yeah, I'm super excited to see exactly what we're gonna be going through today, because both of these teams definitely have a lot to show, and unfortunately they didn't make it to the grand finals, but here they are in this third place matchup, Myth up against Panu. Cicapatas definitely with the upset up against Panu to make it to the grand finals. Panu definitely was not expecting that to happen. They were looking forward to their rematch up against GK, but Panu up against Myth is definitely going to be a really good matchup, and it's going to be exciting to see what these teams are bringing to the table.
You know we love to see it, but as you can read from the schedule there, today we might have Myth versus Panu, but GK and Cicapatas this Friday, same time, so be sure to log on, and be here to watch it, because I know I will be. Even though it's Halloween, everyone wants to go trick-or-treating, everyone wants that new Fenrir heads gear skin, and the doctor's going to be out on the prowl. So, for now, let's head on over to give us our staff predictions, our team stats, and make life nice with the bands. So, starting us off, the talent predictions. This is the one time where me and you, sorry, it's not the one time. This is the only time where me and you are against each other, and it makes me feel happy because I'm calling it. I know Panu are going to put the metal to the pedal and actually try to work this out today. So, Erebus, you ready?
Yeah, I'm definitely ready to check out these team stats. I think that can be a little telling as to who should be the favorites on paper. Definitely going to be interesting to see how the stats played out, because this is going to be their last match. This is their final for this tournament up against each other, and stats are the accumulation of everything they've shown to this point. And for Myth, you got Zach with a 1.24, a little bit lower sample size than the rest of the players. Got Eli 1.02 with quite a few kills on there, leading the team in total kills with 132. Then Dynamite and Narkari, both pretty close together, but Dynamite not dying as often. And then Tridley is fairly consistent down there with the 0.91. And altogether, Myth have been a team that's seeking cohesion, and they've all been pretty close together with each other. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Panu stats.
Well, as we get our ducks lined up in a row, I'm going to tell you that there's quite a few players you got to watch on this roster if you've not been paying attention the last season. Nifu always being an undertaker, taking people straight away, trying to show up for his team and carry them. Yes, there's only one other player on the stack that actually has a positive KD, but as you can see, everyone's above 0.9, meaning that there's only 1 to 2 engagements where they're not walking away. Either as a stack just being perfectly in sync, or they're just getting barely caught out. So, Lambe being second, total kills of 100, nice even number. Sadly, today's the day he's going to have to break that and try to go for at least, let's say, a 20 bomb I'd like to see from him. But we have Harvey. He is correcting me several times about this. If you hear me call him Harvey or Wabe, it's just because it winds him up, and I love to do it. But Rastan and Nyx is always here to make a good play, showing up for the team, being able to support them, but also clutching up when the time comes. This is a team well-rounded, not only in fraggers, but in good brains and callouts. Sadly, Sicko did take the match from them previously, but that's just how Siege is. It's never over until the ducks go quack. So, as you can see from the players' lineups, we're going to have to head into the map bans. That's what I'm loving to see so much more. So, with the map bans ready and set, it looks like we're going Nighthaven Lamps, and that's Myth's pick. Border for Panu. And then Bank as our last 3 if we even make it there. as much as I love Border and Nighthaven, Bank is not one I'm too confident on personally, but Myth's gonna have some sort of strategy because they have the option of layer or Bank, and you know, if that's how they want to play it, that's how they want to play it. Are you ready for this? Are you ready to go back to Nighthaven Labs?
Yeah, some interesting bans here. Always hate to see Cafe going to the wayside, but it always does. I think Chalet ban from the side of Panu is a little bit of an interesting one because I feel like Panu have been strong on Chalet, and they are a team that do like to play aggressive, as we see from the Border pick, because both Chalet and Border do tend to be quite similar in how they play out. And then Bank being the decider is, I guess, a little interesting because I feel like Nighthaven and Bank do play somewhat similar-ish. So I think early predictions for me, I think that if Myth do in fact take their own map pick of Nighthaven, I think they have a pretty good chance of at least taking it on Bank if they don't manage to secure it on Border. But if Panu show up today and play the way that they know that they can, then I think that Panu definitely has a good chance with these map bans as well.
Oh, you know I'm excited for that. But let's see if we can even get to Bank. We're going Nighthaven Labs first. The players loading into the lobby, getting a bit more aggressive, but there's a couple things I would like to remind everyone. First off being that, you know what? Even if with our predictions, our stats, we never know how the script's supposed to play out. The story can always continue. One of the most important factors is the bracketing, is how they've set it up, how they've played it out. We'll have people trying to get into the lobby now, but I need to give you some information about the head-to-head. Are you prepared for this? Because it's gonna come at you quickly, because I didn't realize how many times these teams have actually met. Not just in quals, not just in finals, but in general. These guys seem to either scrim a lot, be good with competitive history, or, you know, just like to banter boss it and give a little bit of aggressive play styles. I'm looking forward to seeing what the chat says, but I have been warned, keep it a little bit area. No 444s, no 777s, just keeping it well lighthearted and prepared. So, first to the head-to-head, most recently, no, they just played in Voltage League, and it was a 7-1 to Panu, which I'm gonna say, it was on Clubhouse, so there's a reason that that was one of the early bans for the map pick. On the second time they played in Voltage, it was actually on Consulate, and it was again 3-7 to Panu. Myth had to really step up the game and make sure that they can shut out Panu. Otherwise, those points they've been fighting for so long, they're going to lose a big chunk of them very quickly. Before that, it was actually on Bank in Rainbow Rumble back in August. The weirder one with that is, it doesn't tell the full stories from the start. Yes, it was a 3-7, but every round came down to that last man trying his best to clutch it up. Panu just got a couple more shots in, were able to win due to timing. And then for Rainbow Rumble, Qual 2, it was actually a 4-7 on Bank. Again, that's when they started practicing it more and getting into it. And then 7-8 on Consulate. And that's how they lost it, just that one little round to continue. And before that, the very first time they had met, at least this year or the year before, Talent League, Consulate 2-7. But there's a reason Consulate was not brought. I'm more surprised with the fact that Bank has been brought when Clubhouse has always been their decider previously, but it was never reached.
Yeah, definitely a lot of interesting stats there about their history. Sounds like has always gone pretty much back and forth between the two squads, and we're waiting for the players just to get ready. Want to remind everybody about the giveaway, exclamation giveaway in the chat. Try and win you some points, as well as EML finals being in Malta. Really, really exciting to have that happen, especially for that early December period where maybe not a lot is going on across the esports spectrum. Get some games in, get some great production in to watch. And if you're in the area, get your tickets because, like Drago mentioned, pretty cheap for a LAN event that's going to be an absolute banger. But gonna go ahead and head it to the match loading screen. Hopefully get in there extremely quickly, but see you in a second. Welcome back, everybody. The players are ready to go. The casters are ready to go. Our observer is ready to go. Let's get started, Drago, with the bands.
First ban is Kain Monty. We keep it basic, but we love it for the complexity that comes from it. One of the things I'm hoping for now is I've actually seen a lot more of a Maverick still being banned, but a lot less of Bandit being banned. So I'm kind of hoping they both make it through so we can see some different gameplay coming out from these teams. But with Missing Pane, we get very nice ban onto Mira and Ace. So that does mean there's 3. Bandit normally gets banned on the 3rd time round, but that also leaves Thermite on the board, making life a lot easier for the offense. But, you know, it's never that easy in Rainbow Six Siege. Asami, Fenrir, Tuberal, Mute were heading upstairs to Command Center, and Bandit is that last pick. Go on, Harvey, bring my operator, and let's show us what we need to see. But same with Myth, they always have that 6th pick, and the fact that Damos can still be bought, just we're hoping to get him be brought to his full perspective, his full strength. One of the things I love about it so far is the fact that when you bring Damos on the site, that entire wood full panning you can see would be perfect to take down any operators such as Bandits if there's no Mute Jammers at his feet.
Yeah, but the one thing to mention is that Mute is being brought on board. The biggest counter to Damos is in fact that Mute, and have to be careful for the side of Myth not to over-index into going for those Damos picks to try and open things up, because the Mute can be the great equalizer there. And if you over-index, then maybe you don't have a plan B to find that opening pick to get that space to make this attack work.
I do believe you're right about that, but right now, from what I can see, we might have a little bit of a player falling asleep at his desk. That Thermite's going to have to waken up because he needs to blow some doors. Right now, they're just trying to set up into position quickly while waiting for the teammate to come back. Otherwise, it might just come down to gun skill or using those hard breach charges on Dynamite. I do have a quick question for you. Since Striker and Damos both have hard breach charges, sorry, Grim, both have hard breach charges, do you really need a Thermite in this setup in this roster?
I mean, Thermite is always just kind of that fallback. You use those can openers to try and open up smaller spaces, whereas the Thermite is really fast, can get it on the wall. If you throw down those EMPs, boom, Thermite open up, as we hear in the background right now as it opens up that electrical wall, so, or that IT wall, so able to get in and get a lot of space as the kills come in fast. Tridley managing to get the trade onto Nikke. Really quick, fast kills there because Tridley was able to find that. The C4 comes out, not quite able to find much of anything. It's a little bit of damage onto that Thermite as another fight comes through as Nitsu rips the head off of Zachariah. And a beautiful shot there from Panu to manage to equal, or rather gain the advantage here in this man count. We see the Damos not turning out to be quite effective because of those Mute Jammers being placed on the floor here by Mitsu to be able to counteract this Damos.
It's just perfectly ranged out, because if you can place it in the middle of the room or anywhere to a walkway or an angle that people are going to have to try and peek you, those holes work both ways, so you just kind of have to try to destroy it or kind of catch somebody off guard. Damos does have 3 charges left, so he can try to ping Mute, but he needs to know which of the defenders he's actually hunting for. They can change positions, they can rotate, they can just try to push out. And as you can see with Damos just barely missing the toes of Mute, he tries his best, but there's a flank from Fenrir catches him off guard, leaving the last 2 attackers being Thermite and Grim. Great skills, great utility on both their sides, but everything open, it's all going to come down to those guns. I do love the gun, but it's only got 30 seconds to try to push in. Dynamite's trying to get through this Raptors walkway safely. He's only now just entering IT. Hopefully he can catch up with Asami on this Raptors, but he does actually. Just takes off the head clean. But he's caught between an F-Map mine and a hard place with a Fenrir watching the doorway. Now red pinging him as well, just to give away the location even harder to be done. But he can call it to his teammate, making it easier to run to pillar. Goes for the plant, but he has to be careful. There's still 2 defenders left, and he's going to push up and ruin his day. But the diffuser is going to go down, but Thermite does not have the time to let go of it, and that's around to Pani.
Yeah, just really unfortunate. Losing so many bodies early on into that round just meant that you just didn't have the time for the clutch to actually come through. It came down into the 1v2, but fortunately, when you hit that 000, you have to keep that uh, finger on the F button and keep that plant happening. And unfortunately, just not enough time to actually get it down and get the gun up. And round one goes to the defense. It goes
Defenders,
over to
protect your bombs from
Panu.
being defused by attackers.
You know how excited I am to see that we actually get to go to Kitchen. It's one of the few map locations that we don't get to see often. We've got the Aruni being brought. Sorry. Not only do we have the Aruni, we've got the Asami being brought. We've got Century. We've got Melusi. And we've got Fenrir. The only one thing that I don't recommend about the site is the fact that you always have to risk your life trying to run out to get the hatch. It's pretty safe to actually reinforce it, so a little bit of an extension probably would be great, just so you wouldn't have to do it. But
10 seconds
you know
remaining.
what? It happens. As you can see with the Asami duddling at the window, trying to prepare
5
herself.
seconds to
They're going to be trying to go for this upstairs hold. I've learned quite a lot about this map site, but it's not always going to be that simple.
Yeah, but what is simple is the fact that you are guaranteed to be able to get that hatch closed. It's almost impossible to actually make it to a position where you can catch that player, especially if you have 2 or 3 speed on the operator that you're going out the building with. And like you see, now they have to waste a can opener or a breach charge on that hatch. They do only have those 2 can openers, so if they want to get that hatch open, then they are going to have to use one of those can openers on it.
You're right about that, but for now, I think they've got a much more pressing plan. Being prepared with this blitz, already walk straight through your aquarium. Roar is here to try and cover the doorways, make your life a little bit more safe. But as you know, there's always the Blackbeard who can try and ruin the day. The drone barely getting caught out and spotted, but all going to come down to whether or not they've got the angles and the guns going to come up and fight this. Because there's 3 shields running at them. There's Blitz already through. Sammy's now having to back up, but she actually goes for the gunfight, getting stuck now on electrical, has to rotate back, hopefully trying to make some makeshift cover and catch up one of these defenders. But these attackers aren't letting anything slide. Almost gets her, and it does. Lambe actually goes down in engagement to Eureka. That's going to be tough to swallow. 5v3. Myth is now opening up their attack properly and no longer slowing down. But Harvey's here. He gets the flank and takes out Izzo. That's Lion off the board. This fight is quick. Internally there, though, to catch the recap.
Very quick engagements there. The Blitz getting in, taking a lot of damage, but able to find the head of the Sentry. And from there on out, it just was a number advantage. They managed to swarm all of those defenders, and now you just have Rawson and Ifsu left up and available for the side of Panu. But there's a lot that can happen here as Nifsu's trying to stuff this Blackbeard. Blackbeard being one of the healthier members on the side of Myth. And you have that Aruni, you have that DMR up and available. One bullet can take down Zachariah. One bullet, I believe, will also take down Akari, as both of these can openers are going to go down. One pops, the other pops as well, as Nisu going to try to get a little bit aggressive here, try and see what he can make happen, because it is a 4v2 man advantage in favor of Myth. They're getting some red pings. They know what's about to happen with 17 seconds left on the clock. Myth have to start making something happen. As the flash comes through, the smoke comes through, as Tridley's able to find one. It's all going to be left up to Nifsu. The case is going down, and Arkari finishes it off. And the round goes in favor of Myth as the back and forth starts.
It's such a great time to be playing Siege because you have lots of viable operators. You have that 6 pick. You've got those ban rates. But again, as we have to go down the tank now, you have to be thinking ahead of time how to out-strategize their opponent, not only in the first pick, but also on the setup. As you can see, a lot of rotates and a lot of quick plans, but they weren't able to capitalize on it. Panu still have a great chance of walking away with this first map. They just have to think about how they want to handle the rest of the defense. They set the precedent, the momentum's stuck being on equal footing. now it's no longer an operator choice to change it. As you can see, they've got Goyo, they've got Solace, they've got Smoke, they've got Castle, and they've got Legion. They're thinking that, hey, it's better for us to slow down their momentum and not even give them the chance to hopefully get into sight without having a lot of risk. But as you can see, the hatch is still going to remain soft. They're trying to hope they bait the players into going down that hatch and getting stuck in that fire-lit room.
Yeah, but I just want to mention the fact that Panu opted to go for a very unorthodox bomb site in that previous round, going to that kitchen, and it definitely did not pay off for them. They kind of got ran over by Myth when they were trying to defend that, and now opting to go for the more standard basement as your next rotation of bomb site after that top floor, and hopefully bouncing back after a little bit of a slow round for them.
I do hope you're right about this, because I'm just wondering it's a bit weird, but it kind of makes sense, especially with the nades coming out quickly. They're hopefully going to try to go for this, but if you've noticed it, I think you have. No hard breacher again for the second time, meaning that it's all going to be up to those can openers, as you call them. And there's still 2 players running around upstairs. You have Goyo on the top floor, and then there are other 3 on the bendings, or at least close to the first area. Not a lot of plays to make the choices of, but if they can rotate back to site and hopefully save themselves a lot of time.
Yeah, and I mean, both of those can openers were used, so they got to open what they wanted to, but they used both of their nades, and one of them rolled off the windowsill and didn't actually open up the castle barricade. And now they're stuck with no can openers, no nades, just a lot of flashes and EMPs that might not end up being too useful in the end, because really you can only use it on maybe stopping some smoke canisters from actually being triggered by the smoke. Other than that, there's not a lot of electrical utility to be used, but Mitsu opens up, takes a lot of damage, but getting that first blood onto Myth, onto Tridley, the Dokkaebi of all operators, is going to be absolutely massive going down into this final minute mark of the round. And Myth, we've seen this quite a few times from Myth before, not really getting much done in the mid-round, in the early round, and leaving it down to the execute, where there's still so much utility up and available for the defense, and Myth just kind of runs dry here as Rawson able to take down Elizao, as it's just going from bad to worse. And it makes you wonder, Panu, why did you not opt for this bomb site last round? Why did you give Myth a chance to get on the board? But Panu looking extremely strong going into the final 30 seconds left. Myth need to get active, taking gunfights here, and finally Lambe gives one over to Dynamite, but 20 seconds left on the clock. Myth, you aren't even on the bomb site floor. Zachariah falls, bleeding out, and so is this round. 12 seconds left on the clock. Nikkei finishes off Zachariah. Nikkei finishes off Akari. Dynamite drops the pistol out, not quite able to find anything as Harvey takes him down. And another round goes in favor of Panu.
That's what they were hoping for. This case was set up for strategy. As you said, why did they not come to this bomb site earlier? I think they knew how they wanted to play it, because that strat only going to work one time, or in the case of the opponent's mistakes are capitalized on heavily. This time it worked perfectly, because all right, they're expecting to go downstairs, they bring the stuff for it, but they didn't bring a hard breacher. The castle barricades weren't able to be easily taken out by frag grenades or utility. They had to go for the hatch, dropped it, realized there's more castle barricades there. It's not a lot of things you can do in that case. Hopefully, Panu's realizing that Myth will start droning again eventually. So you just got to be prepared for it. We've got Legion, Fenrir, 2-Barrel Bandit, and Mute taking us back to command center, going back upstairs. But it's all going to come down to whether this Maverick is prepared to put some Swiss cheese holes in the walls and maybe go for quick kills. Only question I've got for you: which preferred weapon do you bring in Maverick? Do you bring the DMR or do you bring the M4?
I am a sucker for the M4. I absolutely love it, as we see Bandit trying to hide away, trying to make sure that he's not seen, but I'm not entirely sure that it's going to work, because I think that Myth is intending on bringing this Maverick regardless. But want to give a quick heads up to everybody in the chat. Type exclamation giveaway. There are 5 sets of 1,200 R6 credits being given away. So if you want to be one of the lucky 5, make sure you type exclamation giveaway for the information on how to win that.
Remember, you've got until the end of this series to join us, get in the Discord, and hopefully claim those 1,200 R6 credits. Don't forget, it's buy 5. Everyone can try to get them. You can have your whole stack getting them, or we as casters just take all of them for ourselves. For now, you gotta be prepared for it. Each one is a good login, it's a good vote. So, we're going to start off the quick engagement. I was talking about mainly for the fact of Maverick having that DMR the same way Tubarão does, but I think Tubarão uses it much more effectively than I've seen from most Maverick players. And for now, this wall is going to be open quite quickly, but that Tubarão lying down there might actually be able to catch one of these players. It got caught, and that's painful to see, but there's that wall finally open. And if anyone can catch this Grim's toes, no, he's actually going to get one quick down and finishes off Nicky's because of it, leaving you one down but not out, quickly rezzed into a 4v5.
Yeah, a beautiful opening pick here from Myth, a complete opposite of how it ended up happening for them on that first round. Being able to find this early advantage, get the damage onto Harvey, even if you weren't able to finish the down, means that going into these engagements, coming into the later parts of this round, are going to feel a lot better for the side of Myth. Going to have those Candelas come out, shotgun on the Ying, as well as these Bees coming out as another Candela going to come through, going to find the drone and try and see exactly where these defenders actually are playing. But that's already 2 wasted from the Ying. There's the third comes out, and they manage to finally take the space in electrical. Shotgun of Nifsu is going to be waiting for anybody to come around this corner as the Bees just going to get shot out. Mute going to hopefully try and hold on to this space as Shotgun really easily able to take care of these B canisters as a little bit of a duo here. Hopefully they don't end up shooting each other because both of them on extremely low HP. The smoke and the Candela going to come out. Should be able to get them some space here. Going to bait out that C4. 40 seconds left on the clock. They're going to put Druid Atlas out. Able to find 2 with the blind spray of the shotgun. Both of them on insanely low HP. It's all left up to Rawson. Able to find 1, but it makes it a 1v4. The 1v4 ace clutch going to have to come through here. Completely surrounded. Not quite able to land the headshot, and Dynamite takes him down. And Myth doing extremely well in this round. Bounce back 2-2 is the scoreline.
You know that's going to be a tough one to swallow. Everything was there for them. Then the Ying swings the door, just quickly taking it. There is going to have to be a quick bit of typing to let the players know that they need to wake up and know that they have to work as a group. Checking not only their texts, but making sure that they know their strats, they're giving communication and calms out, and making sure that every skin is set. They've got skin in the game. You've got to try and win it. You cannot get the sweat on your spaghetti already. My brain is trying best to rap, but I can't do it. For now, we've got Goyo, Warden, Legion, Benmure, and Mute taking us to this middle bomb site. One that I don't prefer, but I do remember you like it, actually.
Yeah, this bomb site is definitely the most viable on this first floor. Obviously, the 2 tertiary bomb sites are not particularly great. That's why they are the tertiary bomb sites. So it's going to be interesting to see what Panu brings to the table. There are a lot of ways to defend this particular bomb site when some of the best strategies are to just hop in the windows, try and get a quick plant, and cover everything with smokes, with flashes. But bringing the Goyo, bringing the Legion, as well as actually the Warden makes it fairly simple to actually try and ward off these attackers and try and deny these quick plants. So there are a lot of ways you can do it, but you have to hold on to this top floor to have a comfortable defense of this particular bomb site.
Well, as you say about that, we've got something a little bit more intuitive to pay attention to with this Twitch team out, being prepared for their teammate, but also for the fact that Here comes Nock just sneaking into the building. Probably one of the best ways to do it, just using a quick frag grenade to make a rotational. But also making sure that you can give away a position so enemy teammates and cover any angles. That low timer is working away on her favor. Having the camera, but also having the ability set and wait for anything to start. Twitch drone clearing out as much utility and cameras to stop anyone rushing. But Rastin actually starts us with an opening kill on the dynamite, but Tridley's there to refrag and take out Rastin. So it has worked. You've lost your Grim though, which is a bit more of a sink.
Yeah, but Elizao able to take down one of those players on the roam. Elizao sneaking in. So man advantage is in favor of Myth here. The Maverick has to be careful there of this potential C4 coming through. A little bit of a hole set up there, but this lineup, not letting it rip just yet. And it would have worked out. It comes through and the down happens. I'm not too entirely sure he knows, but he has to be careful as Tridley is waiting here to see if this player is going to over-aggress as the Maverick going to get brought back up and Lambe takes down Tridley. So that is going to be that Nomad getting found out on the flank and getting taken down and can even up this man count. Akari on extremely low HP and all the members of Panu on fairly high HP, feeling pretty healthy here as Harvey is going to be playing this pillar, waiting for anybody to cross in front of him, as this Twitch drone should be able to spot him out, maybe be able to get rid of some of this utility and going to deal a little bit of chip damage. Say hello to the Warden as it's going to be this player waiting on the outside of this window. 40 seconds left, and Myth have slowed this down quite substantially, and they're just going to try and figure out, are any of these players still on the roam here? Are any of these players going to be a threat for this execute, as looks like the Nook going to try and spot out this Warden, firing through the floors. Lambe able to take down another. Akari going down. Elizao going down as well. It's all going to be left up to Zachariah on the Twitch, able to find one, but not quite able to find another. Panu win their tertiary bomb site and have the option now to go back to that basement.
4-2 split is the best chance Panu can get out of this match so far for their defensive half. But as we've seen with this map in the past, it's never really over because you know it's perfectly equalized on both sides. One of the few maps which I can say, even if it's defender-sided as a game, this is the one map where if you like it and you know it and you're working with a competent squad, you can take both and just go for a 7-0 victory. Not this chance this time, but a 4-2 split can lead it to 7-2 really quickly. And especially on one very important factor, we've gone back upstairs, they're opening up as many holes as they can to give that audio cue, but also the fact they're not bringing Bandit. It's all just going to be up to this mute. And as we've seen previously, there is some really interesting ways you can play mute on this bomb site, whether it be triple mute jammers on one wall just to make sure it cannot be opened, or whether it's going for that gunfight and trying to shut down everything nice and early. One thing that I haven't mentioned yet, and I feel like it's kind of going to be essential. Tell me, when you're holding rafters, do you prefer it to be a quick run and gun, or do you prefer the long range? No quick peeking, just straight range for the whole fight. Hello? Nah, I guess he's just waking up himself.
My bad, my mic was muted. I was sneezing, so apologies to everybody for the rafters position. I do like the long range, but you give it up fairly early on. You just make it something that the attackers have to worry about, something that they have to clear. But then again, it all depends on what you're bringing to the table. In a zombie, a clash can make holding the rafter spots so much easier, so much more effective. And if you're not really bringing anything, then just give it up, wall it off, hold down, bunker down on site, and do what you're doing as Tridley ends up falling to, I believe, the feet holes that were opened up by Maverick in the bottom of that wall, and some nice gunshots from the side of Panu.
You are correct about that. Here comes the Maverick having to come back and be his hero. But for now, the quick run away from that third-party Valkyrie being in that basement has made life for Deimos a bit more difficult. He knows he has to wait for that flank, but he has to go up and try and cover for his teammates. It's not going to be enough. Nickies gets a second one, takes out Dynamite, leaving it just want a little bit more of a HP advantage and a man advantage, but Ezo's there and takes out Nifu. That's a huge pick, not only taking out Mute, but taking a C4 off the board. Here's the only problem you see left is Harvey. He's here. Zachariah gets taken off the board as well quickly, leaving it just up to this menace of a Valkyrie to try and run past the door, but not enough time. Demus is way too close to that pistol. Kate's out quickly for a double kill for this round. A 3v3 to start us with only a minute left.
Yeah, Tridley on really low HP, Elizao on about half HP, the Fenrir being targeted by the Deimos. Vrostan needs to be careful here, and he does, in fact, find a mute jammer, so gonna completely deny that tracker, and Elizao still gonna be left with this pistol out and open, do a lot of damage with it, but needs to find these kills. Coming down, 40 seconds left on the clock. The defense feeling very, very comfortable within these bomb sites. And Myth, they need to make something happen here. They need to make the defense uncomfortable. And these nades coming through are going to do just that. But Nikkei, through the pressure, managing to find a kill on to the player of Myth. And it's going to come down to 3v2, 20 seconds left. Myth's worst dynamite, or worst nemesis is the clock. And yet again, it comes through to fruition as Tridley's all that's left up and available. Double kill onto Harvey, and the defenders end up taking the round. It just came down to too little, too late for the attackers, as Panu going to take a 4-2 advantage into the second half.
Oh, you know that's going to be rough. But as we get to switch to the new round, we get a new set of bans, making life a little bit easier. I am still expecting Kai and Bandit to now actually be taken off the board because we got to see how well Panu is able to hold with just Bandit and Mute alone. The only problem I'm kind of worried about is I don't know what they're expecting to see. But do remember, exclamation mark giveaway in the chat will actually help give you a little bit more chance of points and making life a lot more easy and a lot more fun for you guys too, as well as ourselves. So everyone should be willing to look up, go see EML finals, just being prepared. If you can't make it there, be sure to watch the streams, be sure to save the dates, and understand it's just here to play. We have Monty and Grim, Kai and Bandit off the table very quickly. How do you feel?
Yeah, gonna be interesting. I like that the Grim is being taken away, as well as both of the wall denial operators. Gonna make things a lot easier, especially when the Thermite did not get banned. The Ace did not get banned. So a lot of options here for Panu to actually do whatever they want to. They can open up whatever they want. They can pretty much have free reign to bring whatever they want, because they have that flexibility of being able to open up all of the walls.
All right, I can understand that. And especially with how we've seen from these players in the past, it makes life, you want to make things as straightforward as possible. Myth are quite complicated teams, whether it comes out to rotations of players, or it comes out to how they like to change their playstyle, bringing the new operator for the first time, Denari, or whether it's just trying to catch out, planning on different setups, bringing the mirror, bringing just a different sort of setup so they can quickly close off rotates, but also the fact that, as you can see, reinforcing, popping mirror on the door, just on the wall to make sure if they have to pop it, and make sure they can't make any thermite holes or anything else, because he's still on the table, especially with no hard breaches. You can't be too careful. He's going to get the far side first on connected terrorist. Hopefully setting up everything quickly for this, as I'd like to say, Rast, and just walk straight in if you can get it.
Yeah, but 2 can openers on Nifsu should be able to get this wall open regardless of the mirror window, but have to be careful of this C4 because it can just be lined up through that mirror window to not completely annihilate anybody that's anywhere close to that wall. So still work to be done here for the side of Panu to make sure that they can actually get this wall open, have that nade come through. You see that the mirror window is popped, taking a little bit of damage is Lambe, as Elizao just doing his best to be as annoying as possible.
Good questions. Since Nighthaven Labs is one of those maps that everyone should know by now, it's not a carbon copy, but it's a very similar copy to
Position
Clubhouse. And with the new operator Denari showing us different ways of cutting off lines of sight and rotations, makes things a bit more difficult without giving away position. Is there anything that you would like to see changed on this map?
I think that the first floor definitely needs some work to be done just to make some of the sites a little bit more viable for honestly both sides, because it can feel a little annoying to attack and defend that particular bomb site, as we see those ADSs and the C4 from downtown able to take out Nifsu, and the Capital will be no more. The fire is still there to try and protect the Blackbeard from players swinging that shield, but Blackbeard in so much trouble. They're actually able to find a kill. Roston on to Tridley as Tridley runs back through the smoke. Thought he was safe, but was not to the blind. Free fire as Elazal able to take down Lambe. So it is just going to be a man advantage here for the side of Myth, even up by Nikke, and the Glass able to take down one, but the swing from Erkari able to take him down as well. So it is just going to be that 2v2 to see if they can manage to pick up their fallen comrade. It is going to be pretty difficult because it is in quite a bit of line of sight, and they actually are able to pick up the Jaeger here. But Dynamite able to take down Ross, and Nikke able to find one. That's a double kill for him. Dynamite and Zachariah are all that's left up and available for the side of Myth, but Nikke on such low HP, going for the reload, 10 seconds to work with, going to bait this plant. 8, 7, 6. The swing comes through, able to find one, and the triple kill comes through. 3 seconds left, but no, the swing from Zachariah able to take down Nikke, and what looked like maybe just had a chance, just wasn't viable, as Myth take the first round of the second half.
Oh, that is rough, but it's exactly what was needed for Myth to start their domination. Just giving them that timer, making sure that, yes, the only deaths they had were from unsure mistakes. Not timer was still their friend coming into the end of that conclusion. So their team up, their setup, Jaeger's being perfectly set, C4 is launching exactly what they needed to be done. It's exactly how you want it done. Now we go downstairs. We get to see Myth's version of this downstairs basement hold. And I'm kind of wondering how they're wanting to set this up, because previously, it took a little bit of time for Goya to be brought on the board. Now, not only do we have Goya, we have Denari being brought, and it seems that he might be a staple for this upstairs hold on this bomb site. Whether that's just to catch players trying to go in for quick rotates, or trying to make sure that everyone who walks into any of these rooms is going to get caught by his gadget. It seemed to be the case.
I think Denari is definitely an interesting operator that you can bring. Adds a lot of variability, and you see that pseudo frost mat being set up there by the Denari wires, and there's a lot that you can do, a lot of flexibility with that operator, and he can bring quite a diverse repertoire of weapons, and that's an interesting use of one of those Boogie drones, and I definitely do not recommend using one to just simply open a single barricade and not open up any flooring, especially on a bomb site like this basement bomb site.
Well, definitely about that with Striker just quickly setting up his utility. You can hear
the
work actually being placed down. It actually should get it, yeah.
Oh, it doesn't actually get it.
Slightly off to the side. But now it's a mirror on next to a quick open hole. That's something going to work out much better for the defenders. But it means somebody has to constantly be watching it to try and make sure the Striker can't sneak up to it and use that hole against them. Now, it's there. It's a permanent placeholder, and Lambe is trying to set up something on this bending hallway. If he can start us off quickly, he might actually be able to catch off this Dinar and take him out. But if not, he could end up having his whole day ruined by one of these 3 other defenders on the room.
Yeah, Nifsu on this blitz, going to try and spot out these players on the roam, try and get rid of them. Zachariah with the C4, with those tripwires to help protect him, make sure nobody's just jumping in and swinging right away. But a lot of these tripwires have been spotted out by these attackers and been dealt with, and the Boogie Drone's able to They're open this floor. They're able to get the hatch open, and this Blitz is going to come rushing down these stairs with a drone at his feet. He's going to spot out, see if he has any gap to manage to find, and it looks like Blitz is going to come through, going to try and get in this site and wreak havoc. Going to get rid of one of those Goyo canisters, and that's going to slow him down just a little bit.
Looking at how their playstyle's been, it's coming out to the fact of the players are trying to be aggressive, but they're actually just getting halted. The momentum can't carry enough, and it looks really good for the defense, but also looks really good for the attack. Since Dynamite answers with the first kill, I'm saying much better for the defense now. His slowdown is working wonders, just trying to force them in so they can get cover and go for this plant.
Yeah, the case starting to go down.
But the C4 kill.
Oh, it's able to connect, and that's going to completely nullify everything that Panu is going for in that moment. The Blitz down. You're down 2 players, 20 seconds left. You have to find these kills, and you have to find them fast. It's going to be tough, and even tougher now as Tridley takes down Lambe. Nick able to find one. Harvey able to take down Dynamite, and it's into a 3v2. Definitely still doable, but they don't have the case. They have to manage to push in. They have to find these kills. A little bit of damage there onto the Mira, but it's just not going to happen. One kill is all they find for the rest of that round, as Myth looking extremely strong on this defense to start us off.
Gotta love the communication, but it is coming down still to that 1v1, 2v1 situations, which isn't ideal, because if that diffuser had have gone down or that mirror had, the C4 had have been shot, it could have been a much better standard and a much better state for them. But as I've said before, it's not about how you play it. It's about why you want it. Why did you want to put down that mirror window on that hole? Because you thought you were trying to get a thermite charge, which was just slightly off to the right. And it wasn't thermite, it was a can open, as you've said before. But as you can see, no one else was there to cover. The mute had just backed off. Sorry, the Sentry Striker. Wow, I can't get any of the recruits' names today, but the recruit had just backed off in time. And that was enough. That was all it took. One player not giving enough focus. And don't forget to go for an exclamation mark giveaway in the chat. Go for those points. Go for that R6 credits. I know I will be after this round. So make sure I don't get it. That's the best way of saying it.
Yeah, definitely. And in this prep phase, a lot of changes here for the side of Panu. They know that they're going to be facing up against this first floor bomb site, and they're going to have to deal with this Mira. And I expect the Mira, which has been a little bit of a nuisance, to actually be banned after this round, as Lucy Gadget love going outside of the doorway, as Myth are going for this full top floor hold. There's 4 players up here on this top floor, as the Thermite going to open up this garage wall and just make things a little bit more tough for this defense to actually rotate down and back to this site from this Raptors position. So it looks like Zachariah is actually going to go aggressive here, but not quite finding anything. It looks like the attackers did, in fact, back off.
You're right about that, and especially with how this playstyle is working out for them, the attackers have to keep retreating because the defense is way too aggressive, and it's working out wonders for them. They're being able to catch out players nice and early, but the only one little aspect I'm going to change here is because of that Brava. Taking that slower pace might actually be the best play, especially with the Ying being available, who can get a quick kill, but Erika gets his own TikTok mix, making life a little bit more difficult, with Dynamite getting another one, taking out Lambe, making it a 4v3 very quickly, with Ezreal getting a C4 kill as well, taking out another one of the attackers. That is not what you want to start this, but it is getting a quick send. 2 players in Warehouse. If any call out can come out to this Ela, it could be well, they will have seen better days.
Yeah, Nifsu and Harvey left up and available. Last one's left. And after Myth equalized up against Panu, Panu's first half lead is starting to disappear. They need to try and make something happen here, because this is the bomb site that they should be the most likely to win on this tertiary bomb site. But they need to find so many picks, and Nifsu falling means that Harvey is going to be the only one left to be able to make something happen. In the site, able to find 1 kill. Okay, on to Zachariah, but you still have to find 3 left. Has to be the 1v4 clutch. and you're getting surrounded. You're getting pushed from everywhere, and you have to find every single headshot, and it's not gonna happen. As Elizao with a beautiful round on the Mira, able to close that one out. And now Drago have to start talking about Panu's attack because Myth have made the full rotation on defense and won each of their bomb sites in a row. And they've done it fairly decisively. Yes, that first round, that top floor was a little bit close, but anything can happen from here on out. And it's looking Myth favored because they have managed to show that they can win on each and every one of the bomb sites they're willing to go to.
You're right about that, but I'm wondering two quick things. Because of how Myth's playstyle has been and how well the defensive hold have come out from them, is there a chance that I was wrong? I'll never admit that again. You know, no one will ever hear it, but I might have been wrong on the side of Panu because their attack isn't showing as strong as I would have liked.
Defenders,
This
protect your
is,
bombs
to
from
be
being
specific,
defused by
that this is
attackers.
Myth's map pick. They had the best chance of doing it. They chose it strategically for their plays. It's not even labs. It's like Clubhouse. It's like Oregon now. It is a default standard. Everyone should know. They will always be brought to it. It is loved by a lot of people, more than I'd say layered for sure. But also seeing that new operator Denari being brought with a quick rotate holds and quick, even better lines of sight, stop any quick rushes or any other plays without taking the time to try and do anything. He can do wonders for a team. And we're kind of seeing it in real time. Panu, though, just to quickly answer your question from before, I think they can win this still, especially with a double hard breach strat now. They've realized their mistake. They realized that it wasn't just down to the guns. It was down to the lack of utility and strategy on their play. There was too many Swiss Army knives. Sorry, there's too many Butcher's knives. Not enough Swiss Army knives who could do them with the abilities. Just to make up for the fact they didn't have enough.
Yeah, and definitely interesting that they opt to ban the Mira and then bring multiple hard breachers. They don't have any can openers, so they do still have a lot of utility in pocket. Lots of flashes, they have smokes, they have those pocket EMPs, so they are going to be able to get anything open that they want to. And Thermite is going to do just that on that IT wall. Going to pop open. Should be able to have that pressure being put down on this Azami, but they're going to have to deal with her because she can be a nuisance. She can cause a lot of pain in trying to actually push up into IT and trying to gain this Raptors control.
Well, as you say, Asami's been one of this new, I'm going to say it, like Mira, she's been one of the more impactful operators to Siege, not only on the change of play styles, but the fact that she can give so much to her team and for the defensive half. All going to come up to this, trying to go for that C4 that he worked wonders with last time.
Yeah,
Completely agree, might be able to do it. He has been able to push him out of the corner, but as this window is covered perfectly by Denari again, you don't want to walk through and try to break the line of sight. You want to try and use it for those kills. Asami here dancing on this wall, hopefully trying to push out this blitz, but she knows she can't go for that quick aggression because if he catches her off, she can blind him and it's done for days. Hopefully, the side of Panu have a way to win this.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, the Azami pushing her off of Rafters is going to be instrumental to this push. But no, in the smoke, you wanted to get rid of that mute jammer, but you took your life for it as Elizao able to find the kill, and Dynamite on this flank, completely unknown to these players and able to take down the ace. And this round is just falling apart as Panu lose two crucial members. And Myth look exceptionally strong on this map. Lamba able to take down one, at least give a little bit of a chance here for Panu, but just on a thread, there is that HP. And it's going to take a lot for these players all pushing in on one side as Nikke able to take down one, Lamba able to take down another, and it's in the man advantage favor for the side of Panu, quickly into their favor as Zachariah on such low HP able to find one, Lamba able to take down the Kari, and Zachariah falls to Nikke. A beautiful execute in the last seconds of the round for the side of Panu to slow them down. And wow, what a round that was for Panu to bounce back.
We have a quick tech pause though. It looks like they're just trying to solve it now. So I do have some quick questions to come out for you, just as we've seen with that IT breach, how they tried to go in for it. It came down to the fact that Panu just weren't paying the greatest of attention to it. It felt, how would I best describe it? It was kind of like trying to fit the wrong key into a keyhole. They had the right execution for another site they expected to be playing on, or at least another sort of attack they wanted to be shown. But the enemies didn't bring that. They brought completely different. They closed off as many angles as possible and then waited for you to funnel. Didn't really feel like they were playing to their right strengths in that case.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting hold there from the side of Myth. The Blitz really did a great job of getting in quickly and denying the Azami the ability to actually close off that Rafters wall. Because usually as Azami, you hold there, you wait for anybody to really pressure you off, and then you just fall back, you reinforce, and boom, you haven't really given up much control over to the attackers. But it ended up being that, yes, the Blitz ended up falling, but they were never able to actually reinforce that wall off. And so the attackers, Panu, actually had the opportunity to use that as a pressure point, to have that sight line into the site. You had that jump through on the back wall over on the other side that Nikke was able to jump through and just completely take out Myth from the backside. And it just ended up going in favor of Panu because of that.
Well, as we look forward to loading back in, I do have one quick thing to mention. A lovely giveaway with the grand final. And you know I have to do it. You know everyone wants to hear it. So, quick, again, full information, top and bottom. AML finals, the grand finals of the Tier 2 circuit that all of these tournaments the last couple of months have been about, including Voltage Series, including South Breach, including the Combine. Everyone was trying to collect those points so they could make it to those finals. The top 4 teams on the points will be trying to make it. Sadly, teams that are already part of Saudi League will not be invited, such as GK, but that does mean you'll still get to see some of the best players in the world fighting it out. First off, location, Malta. Dates, 6th and 7th of December 2025. Highlights, all of them, of course. And the fact that the top EML teams compete live for that 2025 title with 100,000 prize pool. So let's head back into the match and we can give more information in a second.
Yeah, and Myth opting to go back for that top floor bomb site. Just going to try and run it back, try and see what they can make happen. They have decided that they can fix what went wrong in that previous round because they were off to a fantastic start in that round. It just kind of went sideways, and Panu had the clutch hand. They were able to find the round and pull it out in the end. The side of Panu, it looks like they're going to be running back the Glass, which did not have too big of an impact. It didn't result in the round win in their first go of this attack on this bomb site, but maybe they're looking forward to kind of adapting to the adaptation that Myth is bringing to the table.
Oh, well, you know it for sure. Coming with how these players have been, I'm kind of hoping that we get to see more adoption, and especially with this operator Denari. And again, it works both ways. One side for Myth, one side for Panu, yes. Last round was very strong, but as you can see, the Twitch drone not being brought to quickly destroy the utility instead of trying to hack it like they were brought with Bravo. So it is going to work for them very quickly. As they know now, they've learned from their mistake. They know the Denari is being brought. Bring the Twitch, destroy as much utility as possible. They're not bringing anything else, such as Abandon or Mute, so there's no worries about bringing Thatcher or anybody else. Just be prepared to shut it down quickly with your Twitch and go for that push. There's a Mute Jammer that has been caught now, focusing on site, as I mentioned before. They know that most of the connector is clear, but they don't know about the player playing at half wall. There you can see only one Denari hit was still closing up this window.
Yeah, and Twitch drone gonna come in, and boom, it is gone. Denari has been completely nullified for the rest of this round. Some beautiful drone work, especially from the Twitch there, to be able to make that happen.
Well, that's what we love to see. A Twitch that knows what they're doing, taking out as much utility as possible, including the FNAT mines. Again, FNAT mines work a little bit differently than how they were at launch. If you don't remember, the codes are still rechargeable and come back, but also the Jaeger with a perfect flank takes out the Deimos. You could have been tracking him instead. The attack actually did have 4 operators tracked. He didn't actually get to land it in time. Now, Glass is watching, hoping to catch him on the rotate stairs.
And the Blitz gonna come through, gonna attack this shield. Is Nifsu able to take down Akari? The help is there for the attack. It's evened up, but a lot of damage here onto Ross and onto that Blitz. This Blitz kind of gets stuffed there, gets the flash off, but Tridley had enough backup to actually make sure that he's safe and available. The Harvey on the glass, able to take down one. The smoke's coming through from Nifsu as the BP is noted, as Nikkei going to jump in, going to push past that. FNOT does have the case, so if the coverage is deemed to be good enough, as Harvey takes down another, Elizao falling, and this glass is just working to perfection with the amount of smokes up and available for Panu, as they look to be the ones to send us to map point for map 1. But Myth still have something to say about that. 2 left up and available, but not for long, as Zachariah on so low HP as Dynamite falls. Panu send us to map point for map 1, and they bounced back tremendously after dropping so many rounds in the second half.
It took them a little while to adapt. That tactical pause, technical pause has worked out tactically well for them. The best part of it is, if you're online, you may not be able to talk to each other, but when you're here at home remote, you can do so, and that works well as a good planning phase, and to just bring back that checkup on yourself. Assembly, tank, we go back, Smoke, Asami, Mute, Warden, Goyle. This is the penultimate round before we either head to overtime or head to victory. But again, Myth want to try to shut this away quickly on their defensive half. This is the time to do it. Take us to OT, take us the full distance. And try to just make sure you can be prepared to shut down everything. There's no mirror this time. It's just going to be what's in your pocket.
And looking at the lineup here, that Panu is at least hovering for the time being. Ram being brought, gonna have the Hibana for the hatches, for the wall if they deem that to be necessary. But they're still gonna be bringing along this Blitz. They still think that the Blitz is a significant part of their attack, and looking to try and see if they can find the gap, and this time not get caught out by a C4 that really put a massive wrench in their plans last time they attacked this basement.
You know it for a fact. It's always going to be that little bit more of a difficult play to just wind people up. But for now, the droning phase and I'm going to say this, a different entry point, trying to make sure that thing goes through the main entrance clearly, might actually mean the Lambe catching off Warden trying to go for the jump out. That's a big risk, and sadly the reward was not there for him.
Yeah, and I'm so confused. I don't know why Elizao went for that. You're down map point on your map pick, and you opt for such a risky maneuver when you're playing the basement bomb site. The bomb site that is one of the easiest to hold if you just play passive. The C4 going to come out. It's going to be completely wasted. Now there's just no C4 left up and available. Now Nifsu knows, well, doesn't necessarily know, but should have an inkling that he can just get in a smoke, put that shield on his back, and get that plant down without having to worry about getting blown up by that C4.
Well, as you can see, sometimes you just have to catch me outside, and Rastin catches Dynamite out quickly as well. This round might actually go to Patty, and that's a 3-5 start with a minute and a half left. 2 defenders still on this first floor. We were going to try to go for some sort of play, catching off the Blitz, but Blitz has flashed Goyle. That's it. And now it's a 2v5. The backup from it almost cost him his own life, and it actually ends up doing so. You just gotta be so questionable when Hibana's there to catch him off guard as well. But it's all gonna be up to the Smoke. Yes, he's got 30 seconds worth of tanks in his pocket, but it's not gonna be enough if he can't find a kill or a person, and that's flawless. That's first map going off to the side of Panu. It's rough to see.
Yeah, and Myth just completely fall apart in that last round, and I, I'm just kind of flabbergasted because they gave it to Panu. It felt like they didn't really try in that final round. They just kind of fell apart and walked into the waiting arms of Panu and said, "Here you go. You can have map 1. We don't want it." And after the amount of hard fought showings that they provided in that second half, it really looked like Myth was going to take it. It looked like they were extremely strong on their defensive side, but the momentum just swung away from them and they didn't know what to do. They couldn't fix it.
I'm trying to do the math in my head right now, looking at how these play styles have been from these teams. This wasn't what I was expecting. So yes, we've got one player standing out on the side of Pami with 15 kills being Nikki, but Harvey, Lambe, Rastin all getting kills of their own. It wasn't just down to one side being stronger or not having the right statistics for it. It was just them getting caught off guard. As I can tell you now, 10, 9, 7, 9, 4. Only Zachariah having anything below 8 kills. That's fine. That's okay to happen. So it's not just down to kills, it's just down to their placement and how the match actually went for them. I'm going to do the math quickly, but I want you to give the talk about the giveaway for me.
Yeah, make sure that you do exclamation giveaway. There's 5 winners that will be selected, and 1,260 R6 credits per winner is up for grabs. And make sure you try and win that because it's definitely a decent amount of R6 credits you can win. And back to the match, I just want to talk about Nikke performing exceptionally well, and he was one of those players that was down closer to the 1.0, where a couple of the other players were the standard carries for the side of Panu. But Nikke doing a fantastic job showing up 15 and 6 on that scoreboard, and really a fantastic job for Panu to not let that map slip away.
So looking at the double kills, triple kills, and how the match actually went, most of the players, especially on both sides, had a survivability of 75 or higher. And that's just a quick estimation. Honestly, the one that I love to see the most is Tridley with a 91.6. He stayed alive more times than anybody else in the lobby, even more than Rastin, who was alive fighting him as the last one standing in so many rounds. It just kind of goes that the story isn't always told by numbers. It's going to come out to the heart of the players into if you're actually paying attention, watching them. Because, as I said, ADs across the board being fantastic for what they are. It's just that Timer was not the friend of Myth for so many rounds. It might be the time to ditch that 30-second meta, boys, and come back with something a lot stronger. But we're going on to our next map, Border, something that Timer's not going to be your friend. It's going to be the gun fights that are going to slow you down, and it's going to be those kills. I would really be surprised if we see one round lost by a Timer on Border.
Yeah, I completely agree, but gonna head to a very quick break, maybe 5 minutes, see if the players are ready, and then get back into it because Border is going to be exciting. It's going to be lights out. It's going to be guns blazing because Border is a map that is played with aggression, but till then, we have a little bit of passivity as we head to our break. As we do have to manage to clear it though in this mute yet again with the shotgun in just about the same position as wait, maybe the drone didn't actually spot him as the mute's gonna swing and take down.
Actually not going to be finding any damage, although Ryujin with a fantastic way of trying to challenge the only breach they really necessarily have to. A bit of damage, yes it is, and Nixon are going to be actually able to find the final blow on. I see a slap on the wrist with the HP they've been onto Nice. It's going to be the opening here for the side of UA. They're looking to continue it so far, but not giving them the easiest of times, even though spotted out the pre-fire there, mid-reload, bad timing, Smix catches them. The second here for UA, and they're giving Panahune a lot more trouble on the upper ground from all the way below. unstoppable force and an indestructible object in this case, just moving forward, piling into sight, getting all the information required, as of course UA will require it if they want comfortability going on to the side. While meanwhile, going to be challenging Miller from the outside, expecting the common swing, and at the same time, the work out there, shield to play through for the rest of the match or round.
The Flavor is still on Rock, is it? And that's just a
No
preview.
one seems to take care of him, notice of him. Okay, Bolton, you go ahead.
Meanwhile,
Well, you know, with that, they could have hopefully pushed in early and tried to get some sort of factor into it. They are having the second floor control. Devils gets one, Arlen gets another while flashed. Beautiful game sense coming out from
the Pugman.
Pugman in play. Yeah! We get the Pugman handguns finally doesn't resort to a kill. Yes! ALRD is able to make her wishes come true. As of course, the contact making its value, but you gotta be careful. There's still one upstairs and holding your sight. The cap.
might not be able to clutch it out because they don't have enough utility where they can absolutely get into a house. But now Erica gets two, Eli gets two as well. Takes out another player and not just leave it down to the Blackbeard and the Capital. Blackbeard's stuck on the staircase trying to fight for his life, but that's
One from Nixon, heavy bullet able to carry the D, and VIP are back in the lead. It's now DK kind of starting to run out. They spent a bit of it trying to clear this upstairs, and it doesn't seem like Bolton was recognized for a moment for a second as well. Kato's just waiting for it to back.
So much time.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that. I just had a quick pick of mind, but looking at how they're playing this, a 5v4 split is kind of what you want, especially when it's closed up and taking off a hard breacher off the board. That's huge. Frey answering with their own as well. With his own, they're taking out Harry. Chocolate close to him, tries to move his own. Neos gets to the one, takes off Eli. Really answers with his own, taking out Merlin while he set off this whole engagement. But as we can see, Dynamite trying to come up the staircase does survive though. So Ace tries to get it in there, putting his team at a little bit of a disadvantage, but it should be fine. Nade comes out, Smoke's going to the hallway, pushing Jono out of his position. But now they have to push. Tuberog does get one, but he is refragged a moment later. It is now a 1v4, answers with his own. Fender trying.
As this is on fair.
Welcome back. We had a bit of a stellar match is what I'm going to call it, because Not Human Labs, yes, it went to 5-7. Myth actually ended up having the advantage at a couple points, but losing it in the end just because of a couple minor mistakes. I'm sure they're kicking themselves already, but they'll be chatting about it and working on it, especially going into Border. A map that wasn't their pick and isn't as straightforward as Not Hidden Labs. If it was Clubhouse, maybe then they could have had a little bit more of a leeway in calling, oh, Not Hidden Labs is practice, but not this time. Border, everyone does love it, everyone hates it because of the spawn picks, because of the strats, and because you can get away with so much. But overall, looking at the statistics and the skills for that previous match, it goes hard. It really does. And Urbos, I'm gonna have to ask you while my eye is itching because of tears of joy. How do you feel as a Myth supporter today?
Yeah, I think that Myth definitely had every opportunity to take map 1. Their own map pick, might I add, as we look at the map bands down at the bottom, and we see that Border is our next map, and Myth have to make something happen. They have to turn it around, win Border to send us to Bank. Bank is, if we do indeed actually get there, going to be a little bit different from Nighthaven Labs as well as Border, because Border is a very aggressive map. There is a lot of gunfights to be had, and whoever is feeling themselves the most will end up taking it through. I think that it definitely suits Panu's playstyle a little bit more than it does Myth. I feel that Panu is a little bit more of an aggressive team. I feel that they're more comfortable being aggressive, and I feel that it's going to be a little bit difficult for Myth to actually close, to win this one on Border and take us to that decider. And I feel that Panu definitely has every possibility to close this out on map 2.
I'm going to say you're right about that, but playing devil's advocate for you, I would like to go to that third map. It's been a long time since we've seen a best of 3 go all the way to the finals and then go to overtime, and I would like to see around 15. The teams are ready, so we'll be heading in a moment. Make sure everyone puts their predictions into Twitch chat. Make sure you're doing exclamation mark giveaway. And make sure, if you can or want to, come play Rainbow Six Siege and Voltage Series next time. We'll see you soon. Let's load into the match right now. So as we go to border, Urbos, I'm gonna ask you real quick, what's your favorite site in this map?
I think my favorite site is actually the. I'm not entirely sure. I think that a lot of these sites aren't really important because all of them you can play exactly the same way. So I think that it doesn't really matter which site you actually pick because you can play it like any other site, really. I think Top Floor is an interesting site. I think Bathroom is a little overrated just because there are different ways. A lot of people know how to play that bomb site um, because so many people play it so often. So I think it really just comes down to, are you comfortable on border rather than are you comfortable on any specific bomb site?
Well, I'm gonna have to say yes, because you're right about that. It is about how comfortable you are, but there is a specifically correct answer, as we can see from this team picking it immediately. First pick, best pick, Armory Lockers. It has to be my favorite bomb site, especially with the multiple ways of playing it. This is why I'm telling you, when it comes to something like this, it's one of those bomb sites where Rooney, Smoke, Mute, Valkyrie, sorry, not Damos, he'll be coming on the other side, hopefully. But Warden are such strong operators because you have those multitude of ways of playing the map. You've got that long range, you've got those gun skills, but also the fact that it's not just put, place, and walk. You have to actually be paying attention to every angle, aspect, and rotate you have.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I also want to counter your argument. Damos is good on this map when Mute is in fact banned, because there's so many spots that Mute can actually put the Mute Jammer, make it really easy. There's also a lot of hard flooring that you can actually shoot through as the Damos, as the beautiful drone able to spot out this Valk. So should be able to know that the Valk is on the board, should go and hunt down these cameras as they quickly get in the building, but get completely shut down. Tridley from this top floor of security, able to take down the entry, and that's going to be a massive kill to find onto Nikke, onto the buck of all operators.
I'm going to say losing Buck this early, especially on this bomb site, is quite tough, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, it might be the end of that clue drone because that Mute Jammer has stopped it. I'm sure there's going to be a call out from me just being like, hey, it's got to be destroyed. Make sure you're paying attention to the hallway. It's cleared any and all problems. I'm wondering how far of a range can you actually get with this DMR if you're try and cap off one of these attackers. Because if you're prepared to swing and call up your teammate, you've got a perfect way of holding not just Break Room, but CC as well. But she tries her best to go for Tridley, getting two, making it a triple kill, taking out the player to the end of the door as well. But they end up losing Zachariah in the fight to Harvey. But actually, it's really nice. Rasta taken out at the end and Dynamite taking out Harvey. There's not a lot they can do. It is a question of how do you solve this problem, the call-outs, and just making sure to shut down and shut out early.
Yeah, an absolutely massive play there by Tridley to find so many kills, especially onto the shield there, and just completely shutting down Panu. And I mean, Panu just kind of walked in and died. They completely fell apart here. And Myth, yet again, starting really strongly on their defensive side. And it's going to be interesting to see if they can continue it, or will they fall apart towards the end of their defense and give away key rounds to Panu.
Jammer ready.
There's so many things that can go right, but so many things that can go wrong. I'm really hoping that as Solus has been brought now more than ever, this is probably one of the things where it's gonna go right. No, actually, because Solus is such an impactful operator now that people have realized how she plays, having the impact backs makes her just as good as Pulse. I'm gonna just quickly question you on this. Why would you bring a Solus on board instead of a Pulse?
I think Solus is definitely a lot more aggressive, so it tends to be more suiting towards Porter, especially with the fact that you can look at and see if there's claymores out of doors or windows, so you know whether or not you can jump out. You can use those impacts to more easily jump out, which is one of the bigger impacts for the Solis as a whole. When she first came out, it was about denying drones, getting rid of drones, complete suppression of information and intelligence towards the attackers, as Dynamite on drone manages to take down the Buck, this time operated by Harvey. But yet again, the same result. It's going to be the Buck completely disappearing for the rest of the round very early on. Nomad gonna drop that air jab down, try and dissuade Dynamite from doing anything, but I'm not quite sure if it's actually going to work out.
Especially with the quick swing from Fenrir here, getting caught out by the Nomad while the plant goes down from the fuse with a shield, making his life a lot easier, especially when trying to stop it. But it's not going to be enough. He is taken out by the impact, but the diffuser is down. Smoke canisters are just chipping away his health there quickly. But now it is all going to come down to whether or not they can catch one of these attackers off guard and try and go for that rotate downstairs to go for that plant. Not a lot of safe options to do so, as Ezreal tries to go out and catch off one of these attackers. Triddly's being prepared for it, goes to jump out, but as you can see, two people doing the same bad idea is not going to work, especially when there's a glass watching angle. Smoke shotgun is not going to be enough to stop Lambe from peeking and going for that kill. Gets the diffuser and then takes him out as well.
Yeah, really nice round from Panu. Yes, they lost a player early on, but they were able to get in. They were able to get that plant down because Fenrir overswung on the doorway. The smoke came down, the air jab came down, and they managed to find the kill on Fenrir, jump in the doorway, get that plant down, and it just wasn't quick enough for the Solis to actually rotate up to that top floor to find out where the case was going down. And
need to locate and defuse as
it
many
just
bombs
wasn't
as
in
they can.
time, and the coverage was absolutely beautiful by the glass.
And as always, exclamation mark giveaway. Get into that, make sure that I don't get it is probably for the best. But now, as we can see from Myth and Paladin, it's just eating them up inside a little bit, but we're having that equal again. Same as on my Hidden Labs. These are two really strong teams, but it's just coming out to play style and strategy in the end. Something I'm going to ask you very quickly. Is there ever a perfect 5 lineup to hold all maps? Or like hold all sites?
Obviously not. Every site is different. Every site you need something a little bit different, but there are the key core operators that can be extremely effective on every bomb site on every map. I think that Azami is definitely one that's extremely effective on every map, on every bomb site. I think that Fenrir can be played most maps, most bomb sites. I think that Smoke and Mute obviously are extremely effective, but it really just comes down to what the bomb site is, what you need to bring to the table, and how do you want to play it.
As always, you're definitely right about that. And hopefully this Clue Jump can make it in safely without getting caught in the smooth jam or getting shot by defenders. So right now they're going to try and go for the arena gates. The callouts are coming out. They know that there's 2 players watching upstairs in security and CC, but they don't have a lot of options to catch. But Lambe's still there with the perfect gun skill on the Ash. No headshot hitbox is back. You gotta love it for Halloween.
Beautiful shot there to Lambe to catch that player out. Being really aggressive was Triddly, and Triddly in the last 2 rounds has been completely shut down. After that 3K, that beautiful job from security just hasn't gone in favor of him, and now we see Elizao getting droned out, but has those impacts to make that rotate back and away and get back to safely, which is absolutely massive because Nifsu was hot on her heels and going to push up and drive these defenders back. But no, Elizao with a beautiful shot through the wall, able to take him down. And that's going to even up the man count with just 1:20 left on the clock. Panu, the bomb site is on that first floor, so you need to be able to clear out these roamers, or you need to get down there and cause chaos. Minute left on the clock now. It looks like Butch gonna come through here as Harvey trying to dissuade these defenders from actually maintaining their positions up here on this top ward. And they're getting surrounded. They're getting sequestered into this particular area. They need to find something now. There's not a lot of time left on the clock, especially when Elizao is just going absolutely ballistic in this round. Takes down Nifsu, and Harvey falls to Zachariah, and the slow pace of the round has not played to Panu's favor. Myth has just been aware of where everybody is, but Roston able to take down Elizao and going to make this one a little bit doable here with 20 seconds left on the clock. Roston has to be the one to find this and make this happen. Lambe on such low HP picks up the case. 15 seconds left to get this case down as Dynamite takes down Roston. And Myth looking to bounce back, but Lambe, what a beautiful shot, but has to push through, and Zachariah finds the final kill. And Myth take the lead back into their hands.
You know, it's never that easy. Taking that first round, it's going to start the momentum and it's going to get in the heads of the players. Myth are always getting caught out just a little bit by Lambe, especially on that Ash. This is where that ban needs to come out and be important. It needs to be impactful enough to send a message, but also set a precedence, because you can't have them losing anything on this map. Glaz, probably one of the best bets, but I feel like that's still too much of a comfort pick to lose, because any DMR can do the job with enough bullets downrange. As you can see from the replay, it's all about that importance of what is being brought. Glaz was only brought for one round, so I'm thinking they're just planning on using Warden heavily on the defensive half, which does seem to be right. Warden, Mate, Aruni, Smoke, and Malusi are taking us back upstairs again.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
On this bomb site, unlocking yet again the next set of bans coming through as well. And definitely think that the Fenrir ban is a massive one for the side of Panu, because Fenrir, there's so many
Bomb located by attackers.
high-angled ceilings and walls and weird angles that the F-Knots can be placed upon, and can just make it really awkward to actually push in through certain spots, and make it really easy for the defenders to just swing out and find the kills.
You know it. All going to be about the swing or be swung rules that we used to have in Siege. It's still here, it's still prominent, and you've got to hate it but love it at the same time. If you do not respect it, it will shut you down and make your life creating hell. But something that is very, very important, and everyone has to understand, if you try to swing and win with the DMR, that fast fire and those trigger fingers are going to hopefully win the gunfight. But it's all going to come down to how well you can do it on your own. If you can catch a player off guard, or if you can be able to shut down early, you can make wonders. Lucy, sitting here on the metal staircase after taking a little bit of chip damage, has chosen to open up and wait for the early engagement from the brick room door. I'm going to ask you, when it comes to trying to push this site, what is your favorite way of doing it?
I mean, if I'm really feeling confident, just take Ash, run up metal, and swing anybody that happens to be in my pathway. In terms of comp, it has to be clearing out security and CCTV and making sure that I have everything in place. This is also a definitely interesting way to actually attack this. You can place a lot of pressure on these players, as Roston does just so, and takes down the smoke of all operators. Gonna have the surge come through, but it's not enough to save Lambe, as the Finka does fall. Elizao able to take down Roston as well. That's gonna be the Buck and the Finka gone. The Warden gonna get dropped to the floor here, but the C4 from Elizao is absolutely massive. Does end up going down as Nikke able to take down two. It's bringing it into the 2v2. So many fights happening in this mid-round here, and the defenders have swapped place with the attackers, but Tridley with the double kill there when you need him the most. But Harvey finds the last two kills and wins the round, as Panu bounce back and even this one up.
You gotta love Harvey, but it's not always going to be enough sometimes. For now, it's 2-2. This team is not letting anything run away from them. And that C4 at the window was just a little bit of BM as well. As we can see, it's coming out in clutch right now. We've got Harvey or how do you want to pronounce it as well? The other way? Because now that I've
Well,
set it
you
in stone in
told
my
me-
brain, I can't.
You told me
Huawei.
that he
Yep, so
prefers
it's Harvey or
Harvey,
Huawei.
so
No,
Attackers need
that's
to
it.
locate
He
and
likes to be
defuse
called
as many
Harvey, but
bombs as they can.
Huawei is the name that everyone's going to be able to read. And for now, just going to have to try and do as much work as they can to keep a hold of this top floor. Anu taking that round, that's, again, it's muddled the waters. It's made them question themselves and have to try and raise the occasion. Erika's probably going to be kicking themselves. I'm going to have to call him Corey for this match. Corey's going to be kicking themselves because, again, they might be starting off with a donut, but their impact has not been
10
lost.
seconds remaining.
They know what they're setting up and they know what they're trying to do. And right now, I'm kind of seeing something on the attacks. Can you please look at Nyx and tell me what operator that is before I forget?
yeah, Nikkei on the Amaru, which I would have to imagine that it is going to be used for hatches, or it's going to be used for that spot on the window right outside of the B bomb site where we saw the Grim in that previous round. But I would have to imagine with the shotgun going up through the hatch, catching people off guard, and trying to make something happen. Some beautiful twitch work here, able to take down 2 of those oil canisters that are absolutely massive for the defense and denying a kind of shield rush that maybe isn't going to happen this round because there's no shields.
Well, if you could say it that way, but I just think it's perfect for trying to stop any sort of plants and maybe cause a little bit of a havoc on any sort of a Mario rush to fit through any windows or trying to get into lockers early. And now Blackbeard is taking the slow, methodical route because he has been caught off here a couple times in the past, and they do not want to see that happen again, especially when there's an Amari who loves to play aggressive. But there's the Sense gadget coming up, waiting for that shield that Blackbeard's face to drop so he can go for that headshot. It's always going to be a bit of a disaster. For now, they have got out of it safely, but he is here to back up his teammate. Make sure to take out Nyx as well. That's a Mario off when she tried to go up the hatch, as you called it. But Blackbeard is here in the corner. Not a lot of HP left to try to go for that gunfight. And Tridley's there to take it through quickly. Zachariah back him up as well. Harvey, though, made it there to shut out and try to save his team, making life a little more difficult for the teammates and for the attackers. He doesn't know where the third player is, just waiting around that hatch. Dynamite shuts down Harvey, playing that close and aggressive spot, that little blind spot, winning out the round.
All right, I have a question, and I don't necessarily want to look it up in the dictionary, but can you tell me what the definition of insanity is?
Oh, the definition of insanity is looking at Erebos watch my soul and make me go crazy. But it is actually, the definition of insanity is to do something expecting the same result multiple times over. And as you know, that's kind of what we're seeing from this team. They're trying to walk in without the communication. The teammates are trying to call it out. It's
Defenders,
just
protect your bombs from being
needing them to
defused by
talk a little
attackers.
bit more.
Well, the reason I ask is because of if you go back in the VOD and look
Attackers
at
have
round
located a
number
bomb.
1, you see Tridley on the Rooney in the same exact position, doing the same exact things to Panu. Why you managed to win that top floor bomb site in a previous round by not doing that, by doing something completely different. And this time you go back to Tridley, you attack Tridley, and Tridley attacks you. I'm just at a loss for words as to why they would imagine that second time is the charm for not making it tough for Tridley to come out on top there.
Well, I do believe there's a reason for it, but I also believe there's a punishment for it as well. Because as you can see from where that Twitch drone was just perfectly sat destroying as much util as possible, if they're not paying attention to it, it could happen again. But really, now bringing video operator Denari, meaning that now not only does he have the aim with his beautiful shots, he has the fire it needed to try and make life a lot more hectic.
Fuse being the interesting pick here for the shield operators when there are still so many up and available, but I guess just going for something a little bit different. Want to cause some chaos on this top floor. I mean, Do you prefer the fuse here in this situation, Drago?
Always prefer the fuse. He's not normally supposed to be downstairs. He's normally supposed to be upstairs forcing the engagement. But I do prefer a fuse, especially when he's trying to take site solo, one-man army, walking straight in, going up against the smoke, not even with a triangle flank. He's going for the plant, though, even though he knows how close that smoke is to him, but Guide's there to take him out anyway. That's rough, but apparently that was the plan. A quick rush plant, but it didn't work out because no one was there to back him up.
Yeah, absolute disaster here for Panu. But Harvey able to take down Zachariah, so it is going to be man advantage here for the side of Panu, but they're going to have to pick up this case and try and get it down. It looks like that is going to be what they're going to try to do, is Nikke able to take down Elizao. Nikke has been very strong on these two maps so far, as the case does end up getting planted. It's going to be left up to Dynamite and Erkari, left up and available with these SMGs. Dynamite just going to try and spot out any player, maybe left in bathroom, but there is a player underneath the hatch able to take down Harvey. Not quite aware of exactly where this next player is. Spotting the feed, but not quite able to react in time as Nikke finds that final kill, and Panu managed to secure another round.
Oh, these players are just taking round after round, equalizing it back and forth. You said the definition of insanity is the fact that, hey, doing the same thing over and over. But the real definition of insanity is watching Myth and Pani try to fight tooth and nail to take an advantage. Because again, it's just coming out to either simple mistakes or capitalizing on every mistake. Asami and Monty are the next bands. And I'm gonna say it. I was kind of hoping that we'd hopefully see something a bit more surprising on the ban list. Maybe a Grim, or in this case, a Glaz for a second time round just because of how strong he was, or Ying. But you never know with these sort of teams, especially from their playstyles. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Denari ban. Nope, Castle and Ying, so I'm very happy about the bans I called.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're definitely happy about that early hover of the Tachanka.
No, Tachanka's just being perfect. He's being exactly what I needed. We've seen them bring Fuse. Now we've got Tachanka. Rastin is here to carry us all the way to 7-3 victory. We don't have to worry about anything else from now on. No need to worry about grenades. No need to worry about fire. It is through the flames. It is all up to Tachanka. I'm going to call it now. If I don't see an ace, I will cry here right now on Voltage Series.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting as the side swap comes through to see the difference between these two squads. We saw Myth be aggressive to an extent, but a lot more passive than you would normally see on a map like Border. And I'm really curious as to what the game plan is here for Panu, especially utilizing that Tachanka.
Well, Tachanka's perfect in every world and every way. So his answer is quick openings, quick rotations, making sure to catch off any of these defenders, or just running outside like Glanbei has, and just firing so much with the Shumika launcher. And as I said, we might actually get to see a little bit of that now as he's on East Stairs, quickly trying to open up some sort of util and information. But with Legion spotting out the drone, he knows he can't go too close to that East Stairs window, because if anyone catches him on that balcony, his life could be forfeit very quickly. But as we see, the other option in this server right now is Glaz, meaning that they're hopefully going to try to plan for a smoke plant and try to go for that proper cover, as I see Panu attempt so many times in the past. But Harvey's there quickly with that gun, trying to shut it down, but Nifty taking a little bit of chip damage from the long range enemies. Here's the problem now. All of the attack is completely stunned by Tachanka's presence and held outside. They have to choose what they want to do on the south balcony.
Yeah, pretty slow start to this round. Nipsu on about half HP. Zachariah burning down from something. I would have to imagine maybe the Tachanka fire, as the Glaz going to peek through. Smokes are up and available, so Glaz going to be able to find somebody maybe if they walk in front. Nikke able to take down Arcari. Lambe able to take down Tridley, and Harvey takes down Elizao. 3 separate people all winning their own engagements, but Dynamite and Zachariah team up to take down 2. It's going to be left up to that 2v3 situation. Zacharaya and Dynamite on low HP, but Zacharaya takes down Nipsu, evening this one up. It's all going to be left up to Nikkei and Harvey, and Nikkei with a beautiful pixel peek angle onto the player, taking him down. Zacharaya has to make something happen, has to find this. Zacharaya did not have that great of a map 1, but Zacharaya looking good on map 2 with positive KD so far, trying to drone out, spot where these players are. But Nikkei and Harvey, they've just backed off. They're playing passive. They can play off of each other. As long as they trade, they will secure the round. But for Zacharaya, has to be able to isolate these 1v1s, has to be able to find advantageous gunfights, or at least even gunfights, to be able to have a chance in this round. But Nikkei and Harvey playing a hit connected together. 30 seconds left on the clock. Still plenty of time for Zacharaya to try and find where these players are. Try and find an advantageous gunfight, but has to deal with this utility, with this information being given over to Panu. Looks like the swing might come through here. 10 seconds on the clock. Zacharaya sneaking up, trying to pre-fire these angles. One at the half wall, one at the security, and the security takes it as Harvey shuts him down. Round 1 of second half goes to Panic.
I'm just trying to think of how Harvey's done this. There's so many times as players getting away with things that if I tried in any of my ranked games, I'd be sent packing. But you could also be you can also be packing, you can go pack to Malta, go see the grand finals December 6th to 7th. Just beautiful start, beautiful country. I've been to it myself for holidays, but also grand finals. I think it's only €10, so it's a great opportunity if you go free for December 6th to December 7th. EU Tier 2 finals, everyone would love to see there. Don't forget about the giveaway as well, exclamation mark giveaway. Try to win those 1,200 R6 credits. Again, there's 5 chances, so that means 5 winners. That's only for today's playoffs. There's more to come. Be there for it. But as I was saying before, we get another Russian player being brought. No Tachanka. Instead, we get Tatkan. Because we all know who can. It's Rastin. So, as always, I'm going to have to ask you a very simple question. When it comes to this bomb site, how important is top 4 control?
Top 4 is almost everything, honestly, because of the way that this map plays. You're always having to hold on to the top floor. 3 Kapkan traps on that doorway. That is definitely an interesting one, to say the least. Maybe not, maybe hoping that they're not necessarily expecting it, but that is one of the most common spots to put the Kapkan traps on. But anyways, top floor, there's plenty of sightlines through the ground, through the floor, and there's plenty of angles that you can hold from above. So definitely have to hold on to this top floor.
I'm trying to think how this works right now, because Lambe with C4 in hand hears an attacker close. He doesn't know exactly where. With windows and walls getting opened in every angle, you just have to be prepared for any sort of engagement. If a drone is catching off guard, no, but Lambe actually catches Dynamite off guard as he tries sprinting past. That's Buck being taken out quickly. Just a quick little execution. Now it's a 4v5, but Lambe's taken out as well on a train. But Rastin's been downed right in the main hallway, and he is not safe for res, but he's also not safe. He's just going to try and crawl his way back through breaker, but that angle might have actually just opened up his chances, and he's been taken out by Rekka there. Smoke being the only one on the defensive line who can be tracked by Deimos, and they're only standing 5 feet apart. You know that's not a great situation to be in, but you don't have a lot of options to make it.
And the nade not quite able to land onto Nikkei. Gonna be able to spot him or catch him out. Is Nikkei just gonna be playing this window, just gonna be putting so much pressure onto Myth, which they need to do as Panu because they don't have the man count available. And what a shot from Zacharaya as the Kapkan traps do manage to find a trade onto Tridley, but it is all going to be left with Harvey, and not for long, as Elizao does manage to secure that kill, and there is still nothing between these two teams on this map.
You can truly put it to it. Right now, these players are trying to find their styles, and it's kind of not giving them any sort of leeway. right now, if they want to try and break to it, and you have to try and break away. They have to try and get that lead they need. They need to make sure they're showing us a masterclass on how to defend each one of these bomb sites. Because right now it's a back and forth, losing players
Attackers
early,
need to
losing
locate
people,
and
everything
defuse the
happening.
bomb.
You cannot believe it. We need belief in Myth. We need belief in Panu. I said I'm voting for Panu, and right now they're showing us that they can win these. It's just simple mistakes catching them off guard. Lambe getting his pick, but not being able to survive to the next second of it. No backup from his teammates and himself. Everyone needs that belief. And as we have Solus now being brought inside of Party with a shotgun in hand, we're just going to have to wait and see what they can do. They're holding that top floor control, but they're also trying to extend it with Mozzie as well being brought. And focus up.
Yeah, completely agree, but unfortunately, in the 4-4 scoreline, we have to point out a player is 0-8. They've died every single round and have yet to find a single kill in this map so far. Nifsu not having a good one here, but players, teammates around him have picked up the slack so far. Can they manage to make this happen with a player that is not doing too hot, that a player is struggling here?
Ooh, do you say he's struggling? No, Nifu's just preparing to wake up. He's been relaxing so much, saving energy, conserving his time for his ace clutches to come out. You can never count out any of the players. The Ducks are here, they're in a row, and they're waiting to attack. Now a quick Nifu almost getting taken out. If the timing was any worse, it could have been bad. But with a lucky thing from his teammate, Trinley's getting taken off the board. That's Deimos. That's huge for timing. Solus, though, is giving away some intel about the drones and placement of gadgets down below. Only problem is, the attack and no, there's still too much information that they don't know. They can't be pressuring in. They can't just be walking in the side trying to get something. Red pipes are everywhere and available. Areka and Legion here, Rastin just waiting, facing the same angle as well. But Ash going for that wall bang on east stairs, hopefully trying to go for the pick, but can't do it just yet. Areka gets Rastin as he tries to go for the Ash play, but does not work in their favor. Fender getting caught out trying to rotate back into office, but nothing is safe. But now it's 3v4, losing that man advantage that they had set up so early on.
Yeah, cargoing absolutely massive there, as well as Elazal. Elazal has been a massive component to Myth's wins here in this map so far. And yet again, finding some impact as we might see a gunfight end up coming through, as I think pinks have been seen, and Dynamite goes down. Nifsu finally gets on the board. All I had to do was mention it for Nifsu to show up and show out, as it's going to even up this man count, and 45 seconds left on the clock is not a lot of time to work with when you have such little amount of map control. They don't entirely have all of the top floor, even though I don't believe there is a player on the top floor for the side of Panu. Wait, there actually is, because of that rotate back up. Now they have to worry about that verticality. They have to open up these walls. There's 25 seconds left. There's just not enough time here. If they want to make something happen, it has to happen now, as this site is just being bunkered down by the players on Panu. They're going to go for something up top and below at the same time. The plan, the case is going down. The flash is up top, and no, Zachariah falls. That's the case. 5 seconds left. You have to pick it up. You have to drop it down. But no, all the kills go in favor of Panu, and they find another round and take the lead back into their control.
That's not what you want to see started, but it's exactly what you're going to get. Panu have taken it. They only need 2 more rounds to put it away, and we've seen that they can do it before, especially when on that number 5th round. Only problem is, we got to see which ban is going to set the pacing for it. Looking at the stats and statistics, you can actually see Nifu woke up. 3 kills. You were just complaining about him having 0? No. That is not how it plays here, and it's definitely not how Voltage has shown us before. The Changa being brought again. We're going back to Armory. Aruni, Ella, Wamai, and Legion are there to accompany him as his entourage. We're just going to have to hope that the attack have some way of combating these 5 players.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because it has been one round towards Panu, then a round back towards mid, then
Attackers
a
need
round
to
towards
locate and
Panu.
defuse as many
Is
bombs as they
the
can.
trend going to continue, or will we see Panu break away and find themselves on map and match point? We see already Rostin on the Tachanka making short work of these walls, tearing them apart. And that frees up a lot of your other operators to go around, set everything else up. You don't have to waste as much time in the prep phase to set things up because you have an operator that can just tear apart these walls in such quick and
10
easy
seconds to
fashion.
go.
Well, as you can see, it's not always that simple. It's not always that direct. And for now, a quick jump out from Lambay just to quickly set up the spawn wire, as always has been great for them in the past. It also means that Myth has to decide their attack, whether it be this blitz with a shield on his back, slow walking, trying not to give away his position, but also trying to prepare for any sort of spawn pick that they see, especially with this Ella being hyper aggressive, going after the glass very early. It's not as easy as you think it is, but they can get it. It could be huge. It is just coming down to this time. We're knowing that no other player is going to be prepared for a run out from the rappel. It's just only having to focus on this Ella. Too much intel, too much noise is going to give away his position if Glass is not prepared for it. Is always playing for that hyper aggression, can now see the run out prepped, can see everything going on, but it's just going to keep watching as that little wire runs across the railing. But with a minute already wasted, it's just coming up to this Ella who pre-fired as she went past, but no, it's not going to be enough. Now there's no lock on his door, but it doesn't matter. The fuser is going down. It's not going to stop the blitz. 1 HP in a dream. In the last second, is shot by Harvey. Takes it down, but he actually loses life in the engagement anyway. Ella's trying to go for that glass. Knows that she's in sight now. Hopefully can get it. And no, it doesn't matter. Trilly is there to back up and refrag Nicky's after he's taken out the glass. It's coming down to just Trilly's go again. 3v2. Another player has to go for the drop in and hopefully go for that plant, but there is a bulletproof cam watching it. Until they can get rid of it, it's not safe to go for that plant. Tachanka is there being the perfect cover. Since, you know, smoke isn't banned, but Tachanka does it just as well.
Yeah, really quick start to this in mid, going for something aggressive. They have the man advantage, but they don't have the case. They don't have what they need to actually happen. It hasn't been planted yet, but Lambe is the last one up and available, and Myth do end up securing the round in those later seconds. And we just keep on the ping pong, keep on passing it back and forth, and yet again, we have a tie game. We saw this last map 5-5, and Panu ended up closing out, winning the last 2 rounds and securing the map. Is it going to do the same, or are we going to see an overtime on this second map of Border with Panu up 1-0 on the map score?
Well, to answer that question very quickly and very clearly, I believe Panu can set it away. I do have faith in them to do it again. They've done it before, and I'm sure they'll do it now. As we got to last time, 5-5, close in OT, but Panu has that match point behind them, so they do have a little bit of leeway, technically, but you want to win it. You want to send us to a 2-0 victory. We know Panu wants to take that 3rd place and get those R6 points.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Peaks for days. This is just how it goes from these players. The only thing we all have to be prepared for is whether or not Deimos is going to be enough to change up how this is working, because Rastin has been a menace along with Smoke and Harvey. So whether or not we get to go to the full distance or not, it's going to come to these players on timing. Myth have shown up, and there's no more mistakes about timing. It's just about that kills and that gun skill.
Let them come!
Yeah, I completely agree. And Lambe able to take the head off of Tridley early on through that spawn peak. A beautiful job to find that. And Capcan being brought along yet again. Last time was able to find a kill with the Capcan traps. Is it going to happen this time around as well?
Well, you do have to remember the winner of this not only walks away with R6 credits, of course, 1200, they walk away with 600 euros and a good bit of points, 15% of them. So they really do want to win this as much as they can. Only problem I can see in their future is which one of them wants it hard enough. For now, a 4-5 Trilly taken off the board early, that's a menace to lose. But having Deimos is even worse when they know there's a smoke roaming on the first floor. But Buck is here to try and catch any of these players rotating back towards bathroom.
Yeah, and Harvey just sending bathroom, looking for drones, trying to spot out anything here. But as you can see, Harvey's the only one that's actually playing sight. Zachariah over there trying to get in, get aggressive, try and spot out what he can over on this top floor with that Hibana. When you open up this wall, as the whole entire wall has basically been reinforced, just make it a little bit more difficult for these attackers to get in and make something happen. But going to get in here towards this front lobby area, has to deal with this barricade and this reinforced wall over here. And jump back over towards the security area. Customs. Have to try and find some kills. Minute left on the clock. Man advantage still in favor of Panu. All full up, all fairly healthy. Rawson the only one with HP missing. Akari the only one on the side of Myth with HP missing. It's Dynamite looking to try and make an engagement happen. The Nomad, the air jabs come through, and Lambe with a beautiful shot, a double kill on the round. Gonna get rid of that air jab as well. But Zachariah able to find one onto Harvey, and Akari has made his way into this bathroom position alongside the Hibana. Has to be careful of this hatch because it is soft, and they're forced off of the case. And Zachariah gonna go back for it again. Rawson able to find one, but Lambe falls to Elizao, 2v3, and the case has been planted. Zachariah able to find that one, and the hatch drop comes through. Elizao managing to take down Nitsu. It's all gonna be left up to Elizao, up against Nikkei and Rawson. And Rawson, no, Elizao able to find one, and the second I misspoke. That was actually Nikkei, and the round goes in favor of Panu. I was getting confused with the names and the outlines and everything because everything was so chaotic and hectic there. It looked like a surefire Panu round, then it looked like a Myth round, and it ended up being a Panu round. And my God, these teams just do not give up.
You're right. They do not give up, and it does not make life any easier for them, especially with how things are starting. Right now, we get back to Armory Lockers, but we also have to remember the giveaway is still going on. And if they shut this out, the winner will be announced in the Discord later. It won't be announced in the third match like we had hopefully hoped for.
Defenders,
but
protect your bombs
right
from being
now,
defused by
go up to
attackers.
their lockers. Raston bringing the Lord himself. I can't wait to see how this plays.
It's going to be interesting to see. They've lost this round a couple times, won the round a couple times, both on the attack and the defense. And at this point, it's really unclear as to who is going to take this map. These teams have been so evenly matched, so evenly with the round counts. And I mean, it really just is anyone's game. But Manu with the advantage of being on map point, also being on match point, they managed to win this round. They will take third place. Like you mentioned, they will get 600 euros, share amongst themselves, and a bunch of Tier 2 circuit points. And they're definitely wanting to secure this, to close this one out, to make it not come down to the wire, to not have to go to that third map.
It is the penultimate round for a reason. All the excitement has to be in the air. You know these players are going to try and set up something nice and early. Remember, giveaway is going on. This is probably going to be the last time you can join it, so do it now. We always love to see it. Only problem we can see is if anything happens, we're going to have to see some really intense gameplay. And I'm kind of hoping that we get to see a Myth rush. Maybe try to go for that rush plant, catch the players off guard, because it worked almost before with the side of Panu when they were doing their attack. But Deimos has only got 3 over this track. Not everyone's been red pinged or gadget pinged. there is, they know who it is, and they're going to have to wait a couple more seconds. Deimos goes for the track on Ella to make sure she's there, just to push her out of position. And it's working. Ella's now forced back on the site, meaning that they know they can call out their teammates. Ella's been gone. If there's anyone else there, you know you're safe to go.
Gotta reload.
And it's working out, but Nikki's has been taken out. The Legion has been removed from the table. But with another player quickly on that east side, you have Tachanka and Breakroom with not only am I watching from the far side of the balcony, it's working out well because that's Harvey getting another one, taking out Tridley. These exchange of Titans, just removing the players from the other team, the ones that are specifically needed for the post plant. Ella's still being hunted by that Deimos. In fact, still to know that she's in armories while he's on the rappel. But now, it's all going to come up to what they can do next.
I completely agree. And Roston here on the Tachanka really doesn't want to go down early here, but any time wasted will be massive. But no, actually opts in for the gunfight, and Akari shuts him down. The Deimos trying to get tricky, get underneath, try and find these picks, but not going to happen just yet. Harvey dealing a little bit of damage there onto Zachariah. 40 seconds left on the clock. Clock definitely in favor of Panu here, but the guns are in favor of Myth so far. The wall bangs. Elizao coming out worse for wear off of the back of that Dynamite, trying to get in towards elbow, towards 90, try and find these picks, try and get in the side, try and get this case down, but not entirely sure where that case is located because it has been dropped off by these attackers. Gonna go off, pick it up, try and get in towards side. Ella shots not quite landing, but a lot of chip damage done onto these mid players. 8 seconds left on the clock. If they can make this happen, if they can make them get off of this case, they might be able to just secure here and now, and they are going to be able to make it happen. It's Harvey and Nifsu team up, find the kills. Rounds over, game's over, maps over, series is over. Panu take it in 7-5 fashion on both maps. Border and Nighthaven Labs going in their favor. And what a fantastic job by Panu to secure this series.
You know that's going to be hard for the players. As much as I love it, it's such a difficult thing to see. I do love it when it's GK, when it's Panu, when it's Myth, when it's all of these titans of teams fighting, Psychopaths, everything. I've been watching Siege's Lover and Fighter this entire time. But I've got some great news for everyone at home. We have an interview. Erebus, you want to tell us who it is?
Yep, we are going to be interviewing Nikke very shortly. Yeah, Drago, let's just talk about the map real quick. I mean, you predicted Panu, I predicted Myth, and honestly, I feel like both were great predictions because Myth showed so much fight. They almost took map 1, and then they almost managed to take map 2, but in the end, Panu was the stronger team, and it was a fantastic showing by Nikke, the person that we're going to be interviewing, and hopefully can give us some insights on the tournament as a whole, because this was their final match in the tournament, and definitely Nikke showed a fantastic job in the matchup. But yeah, let's head to a very short break, and we'll be back with the interview very shortly. As you have managed to clear it though in this mute yet again with the shotgun in just about the same position as, wait, maybe the drone didn't actually spot him as the mute's gonna swing and take him down.
Not going to be finding any damage, although Ryujin with a fantastic way of trying to challenge the only breach they really necessarily have to. A bit of damage. Yes, it is. And Nixon are going to be actually able to find the final blow on. I see a slap on the wrist with the HP they've been built onto Nice. It's going to be the opening here for the side of UA. And they're looking to continue it so far, but not giving them the easiest of times, even though spotted out the pre-fire there. Reload, bad timing. Smix catches them. The second here for UA, and they're giving Panahune a lot more trouble on the upper ground from all the way below. Unlovable force and an undestructible object in this case, just moving forward, piling into sight, getting all the information required, as of course UA will require it if they want comfortability going on. I would say, well, meanwhile, going to be challenging Nilla from the outside, expected the common swing, and at the same time, the repel there, shield to play through for the rest of the match or round.
The flavor is still on rough, is it? And that's just a
No
preview.
one seems to take care of notice of him. Okay, Bolton, you go ahead.
Meanwhile,
Well, you know, with that, they could have hopefully pushed in early and tried to get some sort of factor into it. They are having the second floor control. Devils gets one, Arlen gets another while flashed. Beautiful game sets coming out from them.
in the 4v3 to the Pugman.
Pugman in play. Yeah! We get the Pugman handguns finally. Doesn't resort to a kill yet.
Welcome back, everybody. I am joined here with Nick A. After a fantastic series that was extremely close, extremely well fought, extremely back and forth, especially border, trading rounds just left and right. How do you feel after a match like that?
Of course, it feels good always to win. It was a tight one, but 2-0 is always nice and clean.
Yeah, and just want to point out, you normally pretty consistent, maybe not the top fragger always, but this series, you were absolutely lights out. You did a fantastic job. The first map, you had 15 kills. On the second map, you went 8 and 8, so a pretty good showing on map 2. But map 1 was absolute devastation by you.
Yeah, it went quite well. My teammates played their part, and it just ended up with the kills there.
Yeah, was fantastic up against Myth, who was looking to go deep in the tournament. Ended up in 4th. You guys ended up in 3rd. I know it wasn't necessarily the tournament you were hoping. You were hoping, obviously, to make the grand finals, to win it all.
Yeah.
I interviewed you earlier on in the tournament, and you said that you guys thought that you could make it all the way. You wanted to beat everybody. You thought you could do it, and in the end, it didn't quite work out. Can you just talk to me about how the tournament went, how you guys felt, and are you guys proud at least of getting that 3rd place finish, given the level of talent at this tournament?
Yeah, of course. There was great opponents each match in this tournament, so never was easy to be in the final, but that was always the goal. But we just had a bit of a rough game against Sigbatas, I think. But yeah, so can't win them all, and we're at least happy to win this one.
Yeah, it was a fantastic match. Watching it was extremely entertaining. I'm sure that everybody watching can definitely attest to that. And yeah, I mean, is there anything you want to say to your fans, to anybody you want to your teammates, maybe where they can watch you play next and what tournament you're playing next?
Well, you can watch us pretty much on every tournament, but I think this week you can see us on Talent and ELC playoffs, so you can watch these. And thanks to my teammates and the fans for everything and making the playing possible.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on and doing the interview.
Thank you.
It was a good run, long tournament, so it'd
Yeah.
definitely be a little tough to make it all the way. But 3rd place, hey, you get some money, you get some points, and yeah, congratulations on the 3rd place, and
Thank you.
have a great rest of your night.
Yeah, you too.
So,
Welcome back, Drago.
welcome everyone back to what I just want to say has probably been one of the best series for Voltage before, when it was a league, and now that it's Voltage series. Ubisoft, thank you to everyone for having us, especially hosting this final. Well, 3rd, I'm going to say it. It's not the grand finals, but it is the 3rd place finals. And it's fantastic to be here and fantastic to have everyone here, especially with Halloween going on with the Doctor's Curse. I'm just going to give a quick rundown of, again, the EML, just as making sure everyone understands that this is what's happening. EML finals, the grand finals of this Tier 2 circuit, as we've been casting these last couple of weeks and months. You have the R6 Blast EML EU Tier 2 finals happening in Malta, December 6th to December 7th. An absolute highlight is the prize pool of 100,000 euros, but also the fact that these teams are competing for that title of 2025 winner. And that's so important. Remember, for the prize pool for the Tier 2 Circuit Grand Finals as well, taking place on the 7th of December, is 15,000. Then the winners will qualify for SI 2026 with that last chance qualifier, which is really difficult to do if you don't know. Tickets start at €10 on eventworkstickets.com/blast-r6. And for anybody who needs to know even more, please look at the Twitch chat, and also !giveaway. Come and get those R6 credits. Now that you know, Panu and other teams will be playing not only in Talent League but ELC as well, trying to get those points to try and make their way there. Support them, watch them, come to these streams, and that's all I've got to say, except for thank you to everyone in production. Thank you to Unnamed for being on Observer. Thank you for Rowan for being on production, and Urbos, thank you for being my casting buddy today.
Yep, as always, was a fantastic time casting with you, Drago. But fortunately, that will be it for today's stream. Don't forget, we still have the grand finals on Friday coming up, so make sure you tune in. It's going to be a fantastic matchup against EK and Sigma. So, till then, see you later.